What is up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of our Kings related podcast, wherever you may be. In this history making post game recap of the Kings blowout loss on this Wednesday evening in Salt Lake City, Utah, and it's history making, but all for the wrong reasons. But first, thank you as always for joining me for another edition of the show. If you enjoyed this podcast, make sure you give us a follow over on Apple Podcasts or whatever your favorite podcast app is. And if you're watching on YouTube, please hit the thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and leave a comment down below. The Sacramento Kings have tied a franchise record with their 14th straight loss tonight. And the Kings, they joined the 1959, 60, and 1971 Cincinnati Royals as the franchise's only teams to lose 14 consecutive games since the start of the 1948-49 season. This is absolutely a historic year, all for the wrong reasons, as this season is turning into the worst season in Sacramento Kings basketball history, as the Kings are now 12-40. I've already lost count. They only have 12 wins on this season, and the Kings got blown out big by the Utah Jazz for the, again, 14th straight game. The Sacramento Kings have not won a road game since December 6th. I believe their last road win was in Miami against the Heat. And in a season of lows, tonight, as a fan, felt like rock bottom for this team, with a 13-game losing streak coming into the night. And you faced, at the time, 17-win Jazz team, arguably Sacramento's best chance to end this streak and to get a win in the coming weeks. But just like what we saw the other night against the Pelicans, this game was over quickly, and the Kings lost in a blowout, 121-93. Give the Kings some credit. Jaren Jackson Jr., who made his home debut as an all-star addition, clearly makes Utah immensely better. I don't know for the rest of the season, but definitely next season. And they already look like a team that should have more than 8 wins. 18 wins this season in Utah. And this game was effectively decided in the first 12 minutes of this basketball game. It really was. Because you had, the Utah, they unleashed a massive 24-3 run in the first quarter. The Kings were ice cold from the field in this game. And that run by Utah was fueled by Lauri Markkanen and Bryce Sensabaugh for Utah. And during that stretch, the Jazz scored on 7 consecutive possessions, while their defense held the Kings without a single field goal for nearly 6 minutes during that stretch of basketball. And the Kings' shooting was ice cold early on in this game, hitting just 24% shooting. 7 of 29 in that opening first quarter. Utah went into halftime with a commanding 71-44 lead and never let the deficit drop below double digits for the final 40 minutes of this game. Absolutely incredible. The Kings overall shot 38% in this game. They were 7 of 33 from the three ball for 21%. Utah made 15 threes in this game, 39%. And in today's NBA, if you don't make threes, you're not going to win basketball games. Plain and simple. The points in the paint dominated by Utah, 58-42. Fast break points. The Utah Jazz dominated in that facet, 25-6. Fast break points. Assists, 33-21 for Utah. Jaren Jackson Jr., who made his home debut for the Jazz, he looked like the franchise cornerstone that Utah's looking to build going into next season. And he put up 23 points, 8 of 13 shooting, and just 22 minutes of easy work. Didn't have to play the fourth quarter. Isaiah Collier, the rookie point guard for Utah, he was the engine of that Utah offense all game long, recording a double-double, 12 points, and a career-high 14 assists for Isaiah. And then since the ball provided that spark off that Utah bench, 19 points, including a finger roll layup at the third quarter buzzer beater. And that pushed the lead for Utah to 34 points on the night. Like, Sacramento Kings, I don't know if they packed for Cabo, were looking ahead to Cabo early, but they looked like they were running through the airport, through TSA, with their passports in hand on this Wednesday night in Utah, because it was ugly from the opening tip-off. As Utah, they worked over a very young Kings team tonight. First off, Devin Carter got his first start in the NBA in his 56th career NBA game. He made his first start for the Kings. No Russell Westbrook in this game, and there were highs and lows for Devin, but he didn't let off the gas pedal tonight. And Devin, 19, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Not bad given the lopsided score in this basketball game tonight. The highs and the lows of rookie Nick Clifford. I don't think he played well at all tonight. Again, it's the consistency you want to see from Nick at this point in the season. And he's getting an opportunity to play not only major minutes right now with all the injuries, but a significant role for this Kings team. And Clifford, 0 for 9 in the first half, and he really never recovered from that, scoring just 6 points on 1 of 15 shooting tonight. The one bright spot for Clifford tonight, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, but not a great night for the rookie. This is an opportunity for him that fell flat, because this was an opportunity for him to really shine, and he did it tonight in Utah. DeMar DeRozan, he has played every game for the Sacramento Kings. All 56 games. And unlike so many of the other vets on this team, DeMar continues to show up with his uniform on each and every day. And the 17-year vet, he finished the game with 20 points, and I think he really needs this All-Star break. I thought he played fine, but some of his shots just didn't look great tonight. I think this All-Star break is really coming at the right time for DeRozan. So Maxime Reynaud, the combination of Max and Dylan Cardwell have been a bright spot for this Kings team, but not in tonight's game. Reynaud, 7 points, and he only grabbed 4 rebounds. Dylan Cardwell, 6 points, 10 rebounds tonight to go along with 3 assists and 5 fouls in this game. With all the injuries, somebody steps up. Doug McDermott, the compliment professional Doug McDermott, who has sat on this Kings bench for most of the season as a healthy scratch for all but 10, 11, 12 games this season. Tonight he came off the bench for Doug Christie and did exactly what he has done his entire NBA career. He scored buckets, and Dougie, 14 points in just 19 minutes of action tonight for the Sacramento Kings. And there was a sighting. Other than the lopsided score, we had a AJ Dybantsa sighting in Salt Lake City, sitting courtside for this Jazz Kings game. And while the Kings struggled to look like a professional NBA team, the BYU star and future top 2 or 3 NBA draft pick was courtside with his dad. And if the Kings land a top 3 pick, then they may have the keys to the franchise with that 19-year-old freshman. And the Kings' best player is coming from this draft. So a nice AJ Dybantsa sighting tonight in Utah in this game, but nothing to like about this game if as a Sacramento Kings fan, because other than if you want to see the rookies play, they all played heavy minutes. Devin played 29 minutes tonight, and the one guy who really looked good from the young players tonight in this lopsided game, but it's still great for player development. But the Kings right now, they look broken on offense and defense. And there's only so much development you can have in that type of scenario. So hopefully this All-Star break can help reset this team and they break out of this losing streak come next week back at home. I believe the first game out of the break is against the Orlando Magic. So it's also a good reminder of how much work that GM Scott Perry and his front office have right in front of them, especially after seeing the exact same scenario play out in the last game against the Pelicans. And if the Kings truly want to compete, they need to add at least a handful of wings in some way, shape, or form this offseason if they truly want to compete. And I know that's easier said than done, but thankfully for the Kings, they are getting closer and closer to locking up one of those top picks in this upcoming loaded NBA draft. Because if they keep having games like we've seen tonight and in New Orleans, they're going to lock up the worst record in the NBA sooner rather than later. So Kings have lost 14 straight games. tied for the longest losing streak in franchise history. And that will do it for this post-game recap of the Kings' blowout loss in Utah. If you enjoyed this podcast, make sure you give us a follow over on Apple Podcasts or whatever your favorite podcasting app is. We are a video podcast on Spotify and on YouTube. So by all means, please go catch the video feed, hit that thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, leave a comment down below. But thank you as always for joining me on the Kings related podcast and this post-game recap. The All-Star break is finally here. Hope you all enjoy the break. Kings back in action next week at home against the Orlando Magic. I do have a video dropping either later this week or next week. It is about Dybantsa and my draft preview series, so look out for that video dropping soon. So thanks, and we'll see you next time right here on our Kings related podcast. And as always, go Kings.